Mersey River. We're taking a cruise now.
We also ask you not to stand in the seats or sit on the ship's rails. We ask cyclists to alight after all foot passengers have left the Mersey. Please be aware that at low tide, the Leeds Boy passenger bridges will be at a steep angle. This time of day is called low water. You may have difficulty if you have reduced mobility, so please ask for help if required and take care. Photography and filming may take place during this cruise and may be used for the purpose of promoting Mersey ferries online, in print and on social media.
During the cruise, you will see some of Liverpool and Wirral's most famous landmarks, including the Three Braces, Wallasey Town Hall, Mersey Tunnel's ventilation shafts, Camel Lane Shipyard, the Royal Albert Dock, and Liverpool's two magnificent cathedrals. We should be calling at Seacombe Ferry Terminal on the Wirral side of the river. Seacombe is the gateway to New Brighton and offers the opportunity to walk along the coastal promenade to New Brighton, which is about 2.5 miles. Seacombe is also home to Eureka Science and Discovery, the new visitor attraction designed for children and young people up to 14 years. There's been a ferry across the Mersey for more than 800 years, providing a link between Liverpool and the Wirral shorelines. Pier Head, our starting point, takes its name from the long stone pier which once jutted out into the river from the shore next to the Sailors' Church, the Church of Our Lady and St Nicholas. You can see the church at the back and to the left of the Liver building, with a golden square ring a ship on its lantern top tower.
The modern 350-metre terminal on your right is Liverpool's cruise liner berth. Cruise lines, including Cunard, Norwegian Cruise Line, Costa Cruises, Celebrity, Disney, Princess and Viking Cruises, sail into the city year-round.
In all, 7 miles of docks and 23 miles of quays stretch along the Liverpool foreshore. In 1710, the Corporation of Liverpool started work on the world's first commercial wet dock, and by the end of the century, the city boasted a full dock system. Steam had revolutionized shipping, and this, combined with the Industrial Revolution and the opening up of the Americas, secured Liverpool's future as a trading city and a major port.
Liverpool's unique character has been influenced by a diverse mix of races: Welsh, Irish, West Indians, Africans, and Chinese. And this has produced a population characterized by its vitality, resilience, and extreme sense of humor. The city is also home to the oldest Black and Chinese communities in Britain. Liverpool had prospered from trade with the British West Indies and the American colonies during the 18th century. A latecomer to the transatlantic slave trade, cheap goods to Africa, slaves to the sugar plantations, and sugar, rum, and tobacco home to England, Liverpool nevertheless came to dominate the slave trade until its abolition in 1807. Some slaves were sold in Liverpool, mainly for domestic service, and you can find out much more about Liverpool's role in transatlantic slavery at the International Slavery Museum at the Royal Albert Dock. The growth of the United States of America provided Liverpool with growing volumes of trade, and new docks were opened on the Mersey in quick succession during the 1800s. The city was described as the gateway to the British Empire and the door to the New World. A significant Irish presence has existed in the city for several centuries. In 1841, an estimated 49,000 Irish people lived in the city, and in the following years, during the Great Famine, and conditions encouraged the spread of diseases such as cholera. By the late 1800s, over 200 ships a week would leave Liverpool and travel to all corners of the world. Liverpool then was the most important port outside London.
On the dock wall, you can see the Victorian hexagonal Salisbury dock clock tower, designed by Jesse Hartley, who was responsible for much of Liverpool's Dockland architecture, including the Royal Albert Dock. The clock's chief use was to check the ship's chronometer as the vessel left port, and was affectionately known as the Docker's Clock. It has 6 faces that can be seen from all points of the compass. The only other one of its kind is in Russia. This is also the original site of the entrance to the Leeds-Liverpool Canal from the river. Although now the pierhead extension is finished, the canal extends through to the Royal Albert Dock. We now see the massive red brick building, which is the Stanley Tobacco Warehouse. When built in 1900, it was the world's biggest bonded warehouse, large enough to fit St George's Hall inside. It was built using 27 million bricks, specifically for storing tobacco cargoes until duty was paid, and it is still the largest brick-built building in the world.
We're cruising on
This
River Mersey.
spectacular Grade 2 listed structure
Liverpool.
is now being renovated into duplex loft-style apartments.
There's a very big
And
river
opposite,
there.
in the restored North Warehouse, is the Titanic Hotel, the finished first phase of the development of this historic area. The next dock downriver is the Nelson Dock, and then we have the Bramley Moor Dock, which in the future will be the new home of Everton Football Club. The new stadium, at an estimated cost of £500 million, is due to open for the start of the 2024-25 Premier League season, replacing Goodison Park, the club's home since 1892. Bramley Moor Dock, opened in 1848, was also designed by Jesse Hartley and primarily used as a coal dock. The dock was in use for 140 years, but as coal-fired steamships fell out of use and the coal mines in South Lancashire closed, demand for coal disappeared, and the Bramley Moor Dock was eventually closed in 1988.
The large wind turbines that you can see provide the power to the Royal Seaboard Dock, which is the prime container terminal for North America. Approximately 70% of the northwest freight runs through Liverpool. Completed in 2016 and adjacent to the dock is Liverpool 2, a new deep-water container terminal capable of handling 2,000 paramount vessels, culture and music of the Beatles, and contains an impressive collection of fascinating memorabilia. For more information or to buy tickets in advance, please visit the Beatles Story website. for building many great ships, such as the Ark Royal, the Second Mauritania, and even some of the Mersey ferries. The first ship built was launched in 1829, and over 1,300 ships have been built here. The construction hall that you can see is one of the largest in Europe, and in recent years has seen a number of major fabrication projects, including the building of the flight decks for the new HMS Queen Elizabeth aircraft carrier. In January 2021, Canada secured a 4-year contract with Calamac, one of the UK's largest ferry operators, for the annual maintenance and dry docking of the 5 largest vessels in its fleet. Each vessel will dock at Canada each year. In April 2014, the British government authorised the procurement by the British Antarctic Survey
Liverpool from
of a
the
Royal
River
Research ship
Mersey.
at an estimated cost of £200 million. In 2015, Canada won the construction contract, and it was the largest commercial shipbuilding project in the country in 30 years. Commissioned by the Natural Environment Research Council and operated by British Antarctic Survey, the new polar ship, the RRS Sir David Attenborough, will transform UK research in the polar regions, providing scientists with state-of-the-art facilities to research the oceans, seafloor, ice and atmosphere. Its missions are critical for understanding and making sense of our changing climate.
Which way are we going now?
After them, and a school of charity children enjoying the festival. And there was a club of respectable persons playing with bowls on the bowling green of the hotel. And there were children and infants riding on the donkeys at a penny a ride. The hotel to which Hawthorne refers was the Royal Rock, a popular destination for ferry passengers who took a trip to Rock Ferry to enjoy a drink, a game of bowls, or a walk on the Esplanade. In the late 1930s, a layer of mud began to wash over the southern beach, and in 1939, the ferry service was discontinued. The area history have shaped the city. The red sandstone Anglican Cathedral, designed by Sir Giles Gilbert Scott when he was only 23, took 74 years to build and is the largest Anglican cathedral in the world. To the left, the delicate spires of the Metropolitan Catholic Cathedral of Christ the King top an enormous and beautiful stained glass lantern, which during the day projects a vivid display of light radiating throughout its interior.
On the river, ships are guided by the red and green buoys which mark the deep water channel. These buoys follow the international maritime system. Red is kept on the left of the port, and green on the right or stop. Unlike British car drivers, ships navigate on the right. The black and yellow forms against the Luckington sandbank, which stretches right below the water as far as the Atlantic stage. Sandbanks, strong currents and fog all plague the Mersey and make it a very treacherous river. The Liverpool South Docks stretch in front of us, no longer used as commercial docks, but were once a forest of masts filled with ships from all corners of the world, including those of the long.It line, known as the monkey boats, because they carry monkeys instead of ship's cats.
As we proceed across the river back to Liverpool, the stunning vista of the waterfront takes your breath away. We now attract many millions of tourists to the city, within which beats a heart of lively musicians, poets, writers, artists, painters, sculptors, designers and architects. Liverpool was European Capital of Culture for 2008 and continues to have a thrilling renaissance. There has also been a dramatic transformation in the River Mersey itself. It has recovered from being one of the most polluted rivers in Europe in the 1980s to become a haven for fish and wildlife and a focus for regeneration along the waterfront.
Liverpool is synonymous with popular culture, especially music, sports and the arts. It's home to 5 theatres, including the Liverpool Playhouse, Britain's oldest repertory theatre. It is also the home of Aintree Racecourse, famous for the world's greatest steeplechase, the Grand National. And in recent years, the city has become popular with film companies looking for dramatic buildings and locations. Not surprising, because Liverpool contains more than 2,500 listed buildings, more than any city apart from London. It has more public sculptures than any UK city aside from Westminster, and it has more Georgian buildings than Bath.
Looking to the waterside, this is the King's Dock area, with its 10,600 capacity arena and conference centre. It accommodates events from rock and pop concerts to ice shows and international sporting events. To the left of the arena is the Albert Dock, the largest set of Grade 1 listed buildings in Britain. In 2018, it was granted the prestigious title Royal Albert Dock, in recognition of the pivotal role that it played in starting a resurgence of interest in Liverpool's wonderful architecture. Threatened with demolition for years, it was restored in the 1980s, and the Royal Albert Dock has become one of the country's favourite tourist attractions. The large white and glass construction that you can see behind and to the left of the Albert Dock is one side of Liverpool One, an innovative £950 million urban regeneration project that has transformed the heart of Liverpool city centre. This development aims to handle 95% of all buses and sales seats. This doubles the container
bridges and refurbishment of the landing stage and terminal building. Seacombe is also home to Eureka Science and Discovery, a new visitor attraction designed for children and young people up to 14 years. Visit the Discover how science, technology, engineering, arts and mathematics influence and shape our lives, connecting the everyday with the extraordinary. Visit eurekadiscovery.org.uk for information and opening times. All visits must be booked in advance.
This is Seacombe Terminal. Please leave here for Seacombe and New Brighton. This is Seacombe. On their way to a new life in America.
Finally, the beautiful Liver, erected by the Royal Liver Friendly Society in 1911, is perhaps Liverpool's best known landmark. Based on Chicago waterfall skeleton, the building is topped by the famous liver birds, which stand nearly 6 meters high. They're said to be based on an eagle, which was the original seal of King John. However, when the seal was lost in the 18th century, the artist commissioned to design a new seal misinterpreted the eagle as a comet, and is now got no unusual appearance. Some say that the female liver bird faces the river waiting for the sailors to come ashore, while the male is looking inland to see if the boats are open. They've never mated, so there are no other liver birds in the world, and tradition has it that if they ever fly away, Liverpool will cease to exist.
Here at the end, we are in front of the Liverpool Jerry Marsden ferry terminal. Inside, you'll find a people story about the cafe on the left, and the Carnation restaurant about the people story is located just a short walkway in the Royal Albert Dock. The ordinary attraction brings visitors on an immersive journey through the lives, times, culture and music of the people, and gives it an impressive collection of fascinating memorabilia. For more information, and to buy tickets in advance, please visit the Liverpool Story website.
We hope you've enjoyed your cruise and look forward to welcoming you all again soon. Tell us about your day and share your pictures with us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram by searching and following River Mersey Berries.
Ja.
You will be getting off the other end of the boat.
Oh, now, okay. All right. Thanks a lot.